Hello and welcome to another Train Sim World 2 video. This time we're driving the Class 465, it's a new thing, from Glynde to Brighton, at least I hope it's pronounced Glynde. And this video is going to be pretty much a review of sorts. It's also going to be showing you actual gameplay footage of the Class 465, me driving it from Glynde to Brighton. And I'm on the East Coast Way for a number of reasons. Number one, I like to use the East Coast Way as a test route because it's very well made. It's got the AWS functionality along with it. And this train is fitted with AWS, as pretty much all of the British trains that they've ever done are. So to turn that on, I'm going to turn it on in a moment. It's a key up towards the top left. Just putting the lights on night because it's pretty dark. And there's the AWS, the key, and you just turn it and reset. Anyway, this video, whilst it is a review, please do keep in mind I'm not an expert on this particular train, I'm not an expert on any particular train. What I'm going to be doing in this video is giving you my opinion, my experience, and just my thoughts about the 465. Now, I'm going to start this video off by saying I am impressed with it. And I like it, and I think I've made a good purchase, in my opinion. I don't really think there's anything negative to say about the 465. There may be a couple of little faults here and there that I haven't picked up on yet. But whilst I've been driving it, not once has it really let me down. And although I've had a little bit of confusion with it as far as the regenerative braking goes, whether or not I should use that, I found out that the regenerative braking... By the way, those are the motor sounds. The motor sounds, I think, are the highlight. And that's not me saying that everything else is a bit pants. That's not me saying that at all. The motor sounds, and the sounds in general, being used for the 465, are pretty much all thanks to Armstrong Powerhouse, who basically do enhancement packs for Train Simulator, the game that Dovetail put out. And Dovetail obviously makes Train Sim World 2, as you already know. And the great news is that Armstrong Powerhouse did a fantastic job on their enhancement pack. That was about a year ago, or possibly even 2. And you know what, I'm really glad that they worked with Armstrong Powerhouse. I'm really glad that Dovetail worked with AP to bring us this train, because the sounds are very, very well done. Now, if the sounds weren't well done, granted, I'd probably forgive it, because the rest of the train is well done. However, if the sounds weren't quite right, obviously people would be a little bit upset, obviously. People are upset usually if the sounds are not accurate. Me, personally, I like to think that if the sounds are sort of similar-ish to how they would be in real life, it's okay for the moment. However, I would like them to eventually fix things. But with this train, it doesn't seem like any of them need to be fixed or changed, so that's fantastic. Now, if you are playing on Xbox, I do have a little bit of a warning. This comes from the stream done by Dovetail themselves. The warning was essentially that the Xbox One version, at least, has a bit of an issue with the crispness of the sounds. And I believe it's an issue that covers every single sound that they ever make. And what happens is when they're running the sounds through the Xbox One system, essentially to put them into Train Sim World 2, the sounds sort of drop in quality. They become less crisp and probably a lot higher pitched than they should be. So if you are playing on Xbox One, you may already be aware of that issue. If you're not, then there's news for you. And I believe that the team are working on doing that. I believe they probably tried fixing the other sounds that they put in for previous DLC, so you may not have even noticed. You know, if you bought the DLC late enough, then you probably wouldn't have noticed that ever being a thing. Either way, that's just the warning on Xbox One. Now, the rest of this train, aside from the sounds, which are pretty much spot on, I will say this train is very cool because it's an electric commuter train, and you know what? It's quite impressive for an electric commuter train. And it's something that you're probably going to see me drive in quite a lot of my videos because it's very enjoyable to drive. As far as difficulty is concerned, if you're a beginner with Train Sim World 2, I do recommend that if you're going to be picking this up, you give it a try, even if you are a beginner. Because I think it is pretty beginner friendly as far as trains go. The only real complicated bit is sorting out the lights and the AWS system, and that's about it, but that's just turning a dial. The hardest part of driving trains in Train Sim World 2 is either understanding throttle control and braking. We are going to be stopping in a moment at Lewis, which we pulled into here. But the hardest part is braking and throttle control, and second is setting up the train the quote-unquote appropriate way. So this game won't punish you if you don't put the lights on. It won't punish you if you don't put AWS on. It won't do that. However, if you want to do it properly, you need to know where all the buttons and dials and things are. And they are easy enough to find once you obviously know where they are. However, sometimes you might struggle trying to find them if you haven't played the game for a while or you've only just started with a new train. So do keep in mind, try and watch some videos about it and learn where they are, and then you won't really need to worry. I just put on the regenerative braking. So the train does have two braking systems. As for which one is stronger than the other, I'm not really sure. I think they're both about the same in terms of their effectiveness. It seems that the regenerative braking is a bit better at getting you to stop. And the regenerative braking also has different sounds associated with it because it's a different system. So up ahead when I stop at Falmer, I will be showing off those sounds, and for the rest of the video you'll see me using the regen brakes, and I'm going to shorten the name too. So you'll be able to hopefully hear the difference. You didn't really hear any special motor sounds when we were stopping just there at Lewis, but you will hear some, hopefully, when we get to Falmer, which is in about 4 or so miles. I think so, yeah. Either way, that's the braking system sorted. Fairly easy to do, you just press the on switch and that's it. Now, this train does also have a speed setting option, and we'll get to that as soon as I get to it in the footage, because this is all pre-recorded. There's a horn, if you haven't heard it already, probably used it before. The speed setting option is basically a way of staying at a certain speed with the train, so setting your own top speed essentially. It's like cruise control in a car, sort of, not really, but you'll see how it works, and I'll explain everything. So here's the speed setting dial, and you've got numbers from basically, I think, about 3 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, 10, 20, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, etc. all the way up to the maximum speed of this train, which is 75 miles an hour. And in order to engage it, you have to set it, and then you put it into throttle 4. It only engages in throttle 4. So if you're confused as to why it hasn't come on yet, it's because you're not in throttle mode 4. However, it will engage if it sets something and you're on throttle mode 4. So please do remember, this isn't exactly a get out of jail free card, because as soon as you change the throttle position at all, whether you're braking or going down to throttle position 3, 2, 1, whatever, the system will basically just forget that you had a top speed set. So you might accelerate over the limit just a little bit. You'll probably notice it before it happens, you'll probably correct it, but just saying. Also, watch out for the doors, because you can still open them while you're moving, at least at this stage in the game. I'm not sure whether that's supposed to be intentional. I'm guessing it's not, because every other train in the game will not let you do that, basically. But this one does. And I believe you can also open the passenger doors in motion as well, which you really shouldn't be able to do. So they probably are going to either fix that, or if it's intentional, if it was always a feature of the train, then they're going to leave it alone, obviously. But I'm just letting you know that that's what's going to happen if you accidentally click on the door, or click on the opening passenger doors. Don't know what the threshold is. There might be a certain speed restriction as to when you can open things, but yeah, I just opened the door at about 50-60 miles an hour, so that's not really supposed to happen, I don't think. I don't think so anyway, don't quote me. Either way, with the speed setting option, once again, not a get out of jail free option, and you can't actually use it as a sort of brake. So what the train will do is it will go up to that top speed but not above it. Unless it's going down an incline, it will go a bit over it, so you need to kind of make sure you account for that. If you are on a pretty steep incline, it's likely that you're going to go over that speed limit that you set using the dial down there. So pay attention to that if you want to get the maximum number of points by not going over the speed limit. However, it should keep you about 1 mile an hour below whatever you set. So if you set it for 70, it's going to keep you at 69. If you set it to 50, it's going to keep you to 49. You know, you get the idea. And it will just keep you there until you decide to use the throttle or any of the brakes, which are all on the same handle, by the way. Just so you know that you probably got that idea already, but that's how it is. But overall, I am very impressed with the 465. I think it's great. I don't really dislike any aspect of it. The only thing that's a bit of a disappointment is the fact that you can't set the destination board. Now, in this instance, I'm driving on the East Coast Way. This train isn't really supposed to be on the East Coast Way, because it's designed to work on Southeastern high speed. Now, I'm in scenario designer mode, so obviously it will let me. And there's nothing up ahead that's going to prevent me from going through with this particular train. It's not as if it's too tall for the tunnels or anything. But the main thing to remember is that this wasn't really designed to go on East Coast Way. It works fine on it. Works totally fine, actually, perfectly. But yeah, it doesn't really belong in this location that I put it here anyway. Point being, though, it does say Brighton on the destination board. There is a reason for that. So the reason is not that it has a dynamic destination board. You're about to hear the motor sounds, by the way. I'll keep quiet. There we go. There's the sounds that we're talking about with the regenerative braking. I did overshoot, okay, but there you go. I showed them off perfectly fine. And yeah, so going back to what I was saying, the dynamic board, it's not actually dynamic. It does say Brighton, but that is because the southeastern high-speed routes, well, all of the trains from that route do have a destination that is Brighton. They can all go to Brighton in real life, therefore it is on the board. However, you can't actually go to Brighton on Southeastern High Speed because it only runs from St Pancras to Faversham. So that's the deal with that. It's not a dynamic thing. It's not going to, if you go on, for example, Tees Valley Line and set it to go to Darlington, it's not going to say Darlington because it wouldn't go there according to, well, real life rules. So I hope that cleared that up. Now the 395, the high-speed electric train that we had in Southeastern High Speed recently, that one does have a dynamic board, but it's only sort of a bit limited with that. It worked on Northern Transpennine for some locations. So some destinations it will set it itself because it's automatic, and so does this. This one sets itself. The only drawback is that you don't set it yourself. That's really the only drawback that I can possibly think of, the only criticism that I have with the 465, because that would add another layer of immersion. So you set the destination yourself rather than it being automatically set for you, because train drivers in real life would have to set it themselves if they were going to a different location or just starting the train up in the morning. So yeah, there you go. That's how that works. But everything else is fine. I can't think of anything else negative. Anything at all. That's great. Now, I was gonna say, this video, the review portion is over, by the way. So there's my opinion. I think this is a great buy. I think the Class 465 is worth the money that I paid for it. I think it's a good product. I don't think there's anything really wrong with it at this point in time. So yeah, you can go out and buy it and basically be assured that it's going to work perfectly. So yeah, if you're interested in it, note that you do have to have Southeastern high speed in order to get this train in the first place, in order to buy it from the store on whatever platform you're on, whether you're on Steam, Xbox, PS4, or I believe you can get it on PC normally without going through Steam. However, I think everything DLC wise is still sold on Steam. And yeah, if you want to buy it, go ahead and buy it. I think it's worth the money that I paid for it. £11.59 was it? Or £11.49, something like that. I think it's worth that price. Anyway, the review portion is done. And now on to the other content of this video. The reason why I'm deciding to put this video out tonight is because tomorrow, or technically today, because it's the 5th past midnight, today is my dentist appointment, and it is very likely that I won't be able to speak in videos or streams. So this is a video just to say, heads up, the next videos that I'm going to be uploading on this channel are going to have no commentary with them. Now, I'm not going to be doing any streams without any commentary because I think that's kind of pointless to stream without talking. However, I am going to be doing no commentary videos with just gameplay of Train Sim World 2, so you'll probably be seeing the Class 465 and a bunch of other trains as well in the coming, well, I'd say about a week or two before we can get it sorted. It might be longer. If it is longer, don't worry, I'll still keep making content. But just understand that it's going to be more casual from here on out. It will be I upload as and when I think is appropriate. So don't expect to see a special schedule. I still haven't made a schedule in general. Now that brings me on to another point. This video will have a no commentary version. So you can watch this with no commentary if you want to. I know if you're watching it now, you're probably thinking, well, I wanted to watch it with commentary anyway, because you clicked on this video. But if by any chance you want to go onto that video without any commentary, you can do that. And just letting people know that there is another version. And obviously videos from now will have no commentary because I won't be able to speak. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Hope we all clear that up. 465, smooth, brilliant. I like driving it, and you might be seeing it soon. I guess so. Now, what else is there? What else is there to say, really? Dovetail did do a stream today. Really? Yesterday, more like. I did also do a stream myself yesterday, where I completed somebody's request. However, this video is also technically completing that request as well, and that request is from Hope T Lioness to see the 465 on East Coast Way. Now, I did that last night on the stream, but because I've decided to use East Coast Way again, this video is also completing that request as well. So it's just a matter of, it's just a technicality there. I didn't actually intend to complete the same request twice, but I've done it. videos out, and so is the stream. Stream went well. We did. Oh, well, we drove from Seaford to Brighton, so I think that was a bit of a shorter journey than this one. Maybe a little bit shorter, or perhaps this one's shorter. Yeah, probably this one is a shorter journey than that one. And we used the Class 465. I didn't go through the tutorial. Matt Pedleston from Dovetail Live, Dovetail, the team, developers, he did do the tutorial dialogue. So it's nice hearing Matt doing the work. However, he says he's not really confident in himself, or doesn't think it's very good. Well, I think it's alright, you know. He does his best with everything, considering the whole lockdown and the team working from home and all of that. So well done for the team for bringing out the Class 465 in this great condition, and also for doing the tutorial. Tutorial was, you had to go from Gillingham Depot to Gillingham, to about Chatham, I think. I think you finished in Chatham, you know, making no, you finished in Rochester. There we go. So you went from Gillingham Depot, then to Gillingham, and then to Chatham, and then Rochester, I believe. And then it kind of showed you, hey, you mastered the Class 465, well done. So that was pretty easy to do. And my experience with that was straightforward. I didn't mess it up once. So that's nice. And we are going to be pulling into Brighton very shortly. But, yeah, also last night on the stream we drove in the snow. We drove in the snow because we did timetable mode for the Class 465 in winter. And I also tried to prove, well, do a little bit of an experiment, because I've never done it before, hopping from one service to another in free roam mode, as it's called. So you can finish a service. For example, if you drove the Class 465 from, I don't know, Gillingham to Strood, I guess, which isn't too far away, but still, just an example. And then you finished up at Strood, and then, for example, there was a train coming towards you that stopped there. You could get on that train, and you could either sit down as a passenger, or you could take over that service, so you can hop seamlessly from one to the next if you want to do that in timetable mode. Obviously, you can back out to the main menu to make sure that you spawn in the service that you want, which I think is probably going to be a bit more convenient, but still, if you're the sort of person who likes the realism and the feeling that you're working on the railways, you can do it, the sort of seamless free roaming, hopping from service to service thing. You can do it that way if you want. Just sort of, it's new to me, I've never done that before, so it was an experience, and I'm glad that it worked. I'm just glad that I didn't look like an absolute wally whilst doing that. Anyway, here's Brighton Station. It's lovely to be here, lovely to finish the video, and I had great fun with the Class 465, and I hope you did as well. Now, you will be seeing this thing quite often, because it's my new favourite train, or new favourite commuter train anyway. And yeah, please do check out the other videos if you enjoyed this one. If you want to subscribe to the channel or anything like that, you can do if you want to. And I shall see you in the next video, which will probably be one with no commentary because of my dentist appointment. And once I'm back talking again, I'll make a video where I talk, and then I'll mark the videos with no commentary as being no commentary videos. Don't worry about that. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Hopefully you all have a great time, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, and hopefully you stay safe, because we are still in a pandemic and under lockdown, at least in the UK. So thanks for coming, hope you enjoyed, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.